Hello, my name's Garry Hudson. I am Head of Partner Products here at Eniro, and I will be presenting to you today about SEO. Firstly, I'd like to apologize as my colleague was stuck in Oslo because of the SAS flight or the pilot flight, so therefore he wasn't able to make it today. So apologies for the English, but all the slides will be in Norwegian, and we're able to respond to any questions in Norwegian if you ask them well. So let's get started. Firstly, we're going to talk about what is SEO. Um, how can you do this within your marketing? And we're going to cover a few topics today, very basic in what we're doing. So the first topic will be how search engines work, the visibility, what SEO actually is, because there's quite a lot of conflicting information, how you can leverage SEO for your business, what Eniro does with SEO, and then any time for any questions. So to get started on what search engines actually do and the visibility within them. As you have probably all seen, this is a basic layout of how you receive your search engine when you type in any type of query, and Google dominates this market. It accounts for around 90% of the marketing in Norway, 92% in Sweden, and globally, high end 80s. So if you're not on Google, you're not anywhere. It's become more and more important that you have to compete on Google with thousands and thousands of other websites, other industries, no matter what industry or what keyword, there's thousands of websites there. As you can see in this example, there's nearly 500,000 websites relating to changing your tires in a certain location, or Warslands, apologies for my language. So in other words, there's a lot of content and a lot of competition out there that you'll have to compete against to get your clicks and the attention from the user searching. We know that a lot of changes have been happening within Google. So especially within the last 3 years, they've changed their algorithms quite a lot. So the first thing that you see when you type in any query tends to be an advert. This is where Google makes most of its money. I believe it's around $18 billion a year in profit from this alone. The next stage then is Google My Business. This is the maps, especially more on mobiles and searches where it's local searches. Maps is becoming higher and higher up the rankings and tends to show more after the adverts. But what we do know for certain, and Google gives us this data, is that 75% of all clicks go to positions 1 and 5, and 70% of all clicks go to organic results. So people tend to read the adverts, but not only 30% tend to click on them. So most people go to page 1 or 5 within what they're doing within their search term. And this is why it's more and more important that you build your website in the right way, get spoken about in the right way, and make sure that Google knows what you're doing. We'll go through this in more detail. So going through what is SEO. Google works that so when you do a search, the search engine tries to deliver the most relevant answer based on its algorithm. The results are based on geographical location, the language that you use, the device that you're in, the behavior that you've previously shown on Google. There's circa 250 other factors that Google look at, all within 0.1 of a second to be able to give you the most relevant search term or SERP that you've searched for. So SEO, or search engine optimization, is a collective term for techniques that are used to rank websites higher on Google. With SEO, you can get your website and specific pages on your website to climb higher up the searches. So when your potential customers search for specific topics or keywords related to you, such as within this example, Google will search their database and go, this website is more relevant to this search term and this person. There tends to be two parts to SEO. One is on page, one is off page. So on page is about the technical structures and relevance of the text on your website. So what is the content related to? What is the intent with this? For instance, if you type in bankruptcy, are you as a person, as a user, looking for bankruptcy stock, looking for a bankruptcy company or a personal? So therefore there's different variations of what you would search for, but all under one term. So Google uses your website to say, this is what they're trying to rank for, and these things, this intent within your website and your content becomes vital for any SEO. Then there's more technical attributes such as SSL certificates, title tags, meta tags. Page speed becomes more and more into the picture. For example, on this example here, you can see that the search term is related to, both highlighted in the bottom right hand corner, 2010. It talks about what the company is related to and linked to the website more than its competitors are doing. We'll go more into the titles. Here you can see examples of SEO titles and meta description. The SEO title is the headline that appears on Google. If it's not actually manually entered, then Google will automatically select what they think your page is about, which could be what you want the page to be or what you not. It's up to Google to pick. So we advise that you do this to say this is what this page or this website is about. The meta description is the text that's underneath the heading of Google. Now, doing this itself it will let Google know that your business or what the page is about. It also lets the user know before they get to your website, so that they make sure that they're going to the correct place, which means you'll get better conversions, you'll get more interest because they know that it's relevant to their searches. So you need to make sure that this text stands out, and this also needs to be done on every page that you have. So if you have a 10-page website or a 1,000-page website, you need to make sure that each page has the meta and the title tag. The next step is to look at the security of your website. Google doesn't want to be associated with sites that are unreputable. So what they look at is for things such as the SSL certificate, which is a type of electronic credibility. It basically encrypts all the information left by the user, so therefore it protects against hackers, for instance. SSL is positively affects and alerts Google that this site is secure and that they're trying to think of the user and to ensure that their data is kept safe. The easy way to check this, if you're going to a website that you think is unsecure, is to make sure it says HTTPS at the beginning of the URL. Other attributes that affect your rankings or change your rankings is the speed of your website. If your website is slow, then it will negatively affect your rankings. If it's quick to download, then it will affect it positively. As this shows, Google have your users in mind. So for instance, if you were stuck in a queue on the phone and you were number 15 online, but you had the option to go to a different place and get the same service but straight away, then most people would take that option. So you need to think about it. How quickly does my site load to what they want? We know that over 50% of people will leave a website if it doesn't load within 3 seconds. So people are becoming more and more impatient, and speed has become more and more important for Google to ensure that the user gets the correct experience. This is our own. We don't expect you to be able to fix everything and understand everything that Google wants to do. So we have a solution that will checks your homepage. So it looks at what's good, what's bad, what needs fixing. It also checks if your website's mobile friendly, if it has a page map, or any of the tags missing. In other words, the homepage check will give you quick feedback on the strengths and weaknesses of your website in terms of SEO. You're also then able to see within this check how other tools are checking your SEO, such as Google My Business, such as Yelp, Foursquare. And this is a free tool, so I would advise going in and using just to double check that your website is built in the correct way. To go into other areas of SEO, we've looked over the SSL and security and the speed, and like I say, please use the free test for the homepage checker. But there's lots of other areas, such as 90% of websites are not updated every year. So we need to make sure that we update your website to make Google come back to make sure that things are relevant. So if you started to create content on your website, you're already ahead of a lot of other people. A blog is an easy way to create interesting stories and SEO-friendly content. You can write about topics that are about your industry, and then you'll become the authority, so that people will hopefully then come to your website and use your service because you are that authority. Easy way to look at it is, what are your competitors writing about and what are they not writing about? What's relevant to you and your customers? Always have your customer in mind. So when you talk to them, what do they ask for? If you're a hairdresser and they're talking about a certain style of hair, then talk about that certain style of hair and all the changes within how it's coming. It's a florist talking about seasonal flowers. This is relevant content to your users and your business, and Google loves this and ranks it very quickly. To get tips and inspiration, the simplest way is to go to Google itself. If you type in an area that's related to what you're selling or what your service is, you can see here in the example, you start to type in, Google gives you information. This list here is actually what other people are searching for in terms of amount of searches. So you can see examples straight away. You don't need to pay for anything. It's just there for you. If you want more information on what people are talking about, there you can test Google's keyword planner. It gives you the relevant terms and keywords relating to a subject. If you're changing your website or you're starting a new one, the advice from us would be to go to this tool to see what the search volumes are, what keywords are related to what you're looking for, and it's a great way to frame your website into a subject. Google created this tool mainly to help with creating more Google ads to get people to do it, but it's a great way for find the correct search terms for your SEO. Another free tool to use is Google Trends. You can see if people are searching for more for tires or they're searching for wheels. You can compare, you can see regions, you can even do it by city to see if someone in Tromsø is searching for this, but they're doing a different search term in Oslo, so therefore you're allowed to frame your citing in a better way. If you're more advanced, you can use Google Console or Google Analytics, which gives you what people are using to come to your site, but also where you're ranking and how things are going in that way, like what's your click-through rate or your impressions. The next one is off-page SEO. So this work is done outside of your website. So articles that are written and linked to your website, so Google experiences your website in a different way. So the more links you have to your website, you need to look at a link as a vote. If you have a million votes, Google will more than likely trust you as an authority. If you have one, then they'll be like, ooh, I don't really want to touch this website so much. So for example, if a person writes on a blog how happy he or she is with the haircut he got from you, and then links to your website, then this backlink, as it's called in the industry, is the link that's stating that I accredit this hairdresser to be good and higher quality. But do keep in mind that not all links are created equal. If you had a link from Beyonce or whoever it is that's even popular now, because I'm getting quite old, so maybe it shouldn't be Beyonce, but anyway, that link is worth more than from Dave the dentist down the road. But the general rule is the more relevant links to your site, the better it will be for SEO. The same applies to links from Eniro, for instance, or forums or social media, Facebook, Twitter. The more, the better, as long as it's relevant. We also have another tool that will allow you to look at it from your offsite point of view, as in how are you portrayed across the web. So we know that 72% of searches do not end up on a website because Google gives you the information straight away. Your business needs to be in more places and be correct. So therefore, what this tool allows you to create is to ensure that your data is the same across all areas, so Facebook, Google, Gule, Foursquare, Yelp, for instance. Because what tends to happen is, I don't know if this is an English game, so I apologize. you have a child's game where you say cheesecake to one person and then they say the same word to the next person, the next person. It always then ends up coming out with a random saying. So you start with cheesecake and it ends up with cheeseburger or sandwich or something that is not at all related. And this tool allows you to keep it all related to your business. Again, it's free, but it's a good way to check. So SEO and what we do for Eniro is the next one. We can obviously help you because this is what part of what we do. It's part of our digital marketing solution. We also offer mobile customized SSL certified websites, so you don't have to think about the on-page stuff as much as you should do because we build this within our packages. But you can go to our website to read more or email me at the end. We'll go through and we can help you in any way. So as we have a whole spectrum of digital marketing, because we look at it as one big thing, we can help you with ads and Google My Business, but we'll focus on Google My Business, which is something that you can set up quite easily here. We know that Google Ads takes expertise and time and marketing budget, but Google My Business is a pretty simple and relatively quick setup to get your website visible. Google My Business, in my opinion, is something that if you have a physical location, you have to do. Maps now is becoming one of the biggest things that I guess Google are pushing really hard. It's even above their natural rankings, as we discussed earlier. It's something that on your phone is constantly there. It shows up more, and as we search more and more on mobile devices, I think it's 70% now, just under 70% are on mobile devices. It's becoming more and more apparent. So in this example, you can see how Google My Business works. You can this is shows local businesses based on your search located on a map. This is also optimized depending on user intent, which also then pulls from what you put in Google My Business. So you now not just have to do SEO on your own site, you have to do it on other sites to make sure that they're keyword and keyword specific, but also intent specific for your user. We obviously do this as well, but we push ours not just on Google My Business, but on TomTom. So if people need to come to a location, we push it to TomTom so it's the right place. We push it into Baidu in case you have Chinese people coming over or Russian people coming over on Yandex to visit us. So we make sure that it's pushed out in over 40 different locations. So therefore, your business is correct in every single place. We also ensure that this can't be changed by your competitors. So what Google My Business does is that you as a user can go on and change your competitors' times. You can give a different time of opening to the local gym if you feel like they're not there every day when you turn up at 6 a.m. We stop this from actually changing on Google, and we just give it to you as a business owner as a suggestion. And what this does is that it frames you as a business as authoritative, and also that you are looking after your users and ensuring that they get the right information. That was very quick, very top level SEO, but we're going to end with the top 3 tips. Is be prepared to spend some time doing this. It's hard to get people to talk about you in the way that you want them to talk about you. It can take weeks to months to years to get this correct. So it's hard work, and you need to keep your users constantly in mind. The best start is to build a website that is SEO friendly. The most relevant information possible with the keywords that you want to rank for. And don't be afraid to ask for help. You're not expected to know everything. And now to any questions? No? If you have any questions, then please email me or my colleague, who will be able to respond in Norwegian. And thank you for joining today, and get in touch if you need any help.